Fellas, I just heard about this Brittany Griner trade. Apparently, they sold her over for the Merchant of Death. And I got to say, this is the worst trade since Montreal sent Patrick Waugh to Colorado for a bucket of tape.
What is Biden thinking? That is the worst trade since Kobe Bryant was traded on draft day for Vlade Divac. What a blunder.
All right.
The boys. It's the BOYSCAST. The lads. It's the BOYSCAST. The dudes. Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST. The bros. It's the BOYSCAST. The homies. It's the BOYSCAST. The dudes. Experience the BOYSCAST. The BOYSCAST.
This right there is the BOYSCAST. We welcome.
BOYSCAST.
Fellas, you're going to want to get the SPF. It's that voice. Fellas, you're going to want to get the SPF out. It is a scorcher out there. I recommend staying out of the sun for 20 minutes tops because it is a hot one.
It's hotter than Joe Biden's negotiating table.
You know what? So when I was young, this is probably the best trade I ever made. I can't remember exactly what the trade was, but at one point I made a Wayne Gretzky card and then I put a fake signature on it. I was big into the fake signatures at one point.
It's funny because that's literally fraud.
No, it was like, no. This is when I was like 9 years old, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Someone I played hockey with or whatever. Right. But I just always I wonder if they still have like the fake Wayne Gretzky signed card. Like they're handing it over to their kid.
Totally, it's just like a family heirloom. And they're like, I ripped this dude off when I was in.
They're gonna go get it vindicated. That used to be a big deal. In fact, I was pretty hot on that when I was young, just like putting fake signatures on stuff. It's so easy because you just look at their signature and just copy it.
Yeah.
But the actual truth was in real life, I think signatures lower the value, right?
Depends. It's changed, actually.
If they're dead, it probably goes up.
Well, no, even it really actually depends. Like Michael Jordan's rookie card, he made a deal with a different company, so there's very few signatures.
Oh, he said I'll only sign at 500.
At some point he's like, I work with this other company, Upper Deck, so he's like, I don't sign my rookie cards. So there's like they're expensive. They're tens of thousands.
So if you do find one that he signed, it's a hot deal.
Yeah, they're worth a lot of money.
That is crazy though. If you ever need to make some money, he just signs 5 cards. Like imagine like if one of someone in his family's like trying to say, you know what I mean? Like you need to give me some money for this and that, and he goes, okay, I'm not going to give you money, but
I mean, kind of
huge, right?
It is, yeah. Well, I think I saw something maybe on TikTok where someone who's constantly hounds Drake. And Drake kind of like
Drake?
No, dressed him down, Drake, because this guy is like.
What do you mean he dressed him down?
There's people who literally follow celebrities and get autographs from them.
Okay,
right? Like that's their job, and they sell them on eBay and stuff. Like here's like.
How's the autograph market still cooking? Like who's buying
people
autographs?
Want a thing that somebody touched.
At the
end of the day, they just want a piece of paper that Drake has.
I thought these days the autograph market was basically over.
No way.
Yuck.
Hell no.
That's a
famous autographs, especially athletes. Athletes is a big business, but like, I mean, there was this video, and like, I guess this guy just follows Drake, sees him everywhere he goes. He's like, dude, you're not like a fan. I know what you're doing.
Like he recognizes the guy.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's just like, hey, what's up? He's like, I see you every day.
Well,
like,
this has been, but they go like, this has been a
like
thing
the rooster and
with athletes too, because they'll be like, someone will be like, hey, can you sign like 15 photos?
And you're like, no.
And well, they would, I guess. Even who did I say? This guy Billy Strings, actually, who I follow, this musician, and he posted something where he's like, look, like I can't sign autographs anymore because everywhere I go now, it's just like the same people, and they're asking me to sign 25 fucking things. It's like, I know it's not for you. I know you're selling it.
Yeah.
He's like, I respect your hustle, but
I'm not gonna be part of it.
He's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, sorry. He's like, you ruined it for me.
So we're in Toronto this weekend. I just got back from Texas. And
how was Texas?
So we're not doing the BOYSCAST because basically...
You want to know something crazy?
Yeah.
Texas related?
Okay.
So remember how we got the money crystal in Texas that cursed me?
Well, it was in Texas.
It was in Dallas, right?
That cursed you, yeah.
So listen to this. So it's the money crystal is in my bathroom, and I walked in the other day, and it was broken in half.
Stop.
Do you think the curse is lifted?
How did it get broken?
Nobody knows. My girlfriend says I did it. I didn't touch it.
Did you sit on it?
No, I didn't sit on it. It's on like a little shelf thing.
That's why.
But it's like a horror movie.
Got erected.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's like a horror movie. Like it's like the money crystal broke, and then all the bad juju inside got released.
Then SPF's getting arrested. Your stocks start going up.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if the curse has been lifted.
Dude,
I feel like a little
I was at a show and there's this guy. I actually think I haven't filmed, but there's this doctor, and he was like saying that they work with cancer patients and like work with trying to cure cancer, and the wife works with cancer patients, and he works with like as a doctor, and then he also had crystals, and I was like, pretty bad sign that your doctor. I was loving the idea that you go to the doctor. This one's for leukemia.
I didn't know Dallas was such a hippie town. With
It kind of is a little bit
weird. I would not expect that.
Well, buddy, so you want to hear what happened to me? It was fucking. So the fifth show. So all the shows are pretty packed. So when shows are packed, it's mostly just like your fans and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But then the last one, there was like a big table of people, like 12 fucking losers.
Yeah. That's like does not clarify for me what they look like at all.
No, like a work party of 50-year-olds. So it was probably one of the craziest things. Like JJ will confirm it was nuts, right? So they were 10 to 15 like old people, right? Not old, like 50 to 55. Half girls, half guys, right? And then they have Christmas lights that are blinking around their thing. I'm just like, this is already, you just go, when someone pulls out like a phone to take a picture, it's the most distracting thing. Whole table with blinking Christmas lights.
Interesting that the club allowed that.
So this is what gets interesting. So every comic's complaining, and it was like one of those things where obviously you'd be like, yeah, the blinking Christmas lights in the front row got to come off, pal.
Of course.
And then they're talking the whole time, basically, and then so everyone's arguing with them. They won't shut up. And then I basically get up and do my thing of like, all right, like, and I was saying this. I was like, listen, I've seen this a lot of times. This is what's going to happen. Everyone here hates you. Eventually you're going to get kicked out. Everyone's going to cheer. One person in your group's going to stay because he was actually my fan. Yeah. And then whatever. I was going through that. And that is what happened. And eventually that happened and everyone cheered. And I was like, best prediction of all time. Like literally one by one, right? So this is going on for like, they won't shut up, blah, blah. And I was kind of like, the one guy in the club goes over to them to talk, and I go, give them one warning at the beginning because I was like, don't kick them out just yet or whatever. Yeah. Because maybe they'll like shut up.
Because you're like, I'm filming and I want to milk this.
Honestly, I didn't. I was hating them. Okay. I hated them. They were going, dude, at one point, at one point, the guy stands up. The girls, two more girls walk in. The girls turn around and they're having a full conversation, top of their lungs. So I was like, all right, I tried. Like, okay. Yeah. And then the club just won't do anything, right? And I'm kind of wondering what's going on. Eventually, the guy's like, he starts fighting with another guy. This is now we're like 10 minutes in. There's no way to do a joke. Like, it is just like so. Yes, it is so out of control. I would like twice.
It's like a bar show. It's like they've turned like this nice club, but I'm saying like they've turned a nice club into like a bar show.
Yeah, but like the worst bar show you've ever.
Like someone's playing pool.
A bar show where you don't get to do one joke.
Yeah.
You literally no chance of trying anything other than the crowd stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they're then everyone in the crowd, as you would imagine, like they all paid to see me, right? So half the people in the crowd are just like, shut the fuck up, like that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then like the first 6 minutes too, I was like, making everyone laugh with making fun of them or whatever. But then, eventually you're just like, okay, we're not doing this for an hour. So the guy in the crowd starts yelling at him or whatever, right? He basically stands up like he's going to walk on the stage, and he stands next to the stage with his Christmas lights. This guy that looks like he's in the fucking military, right? Okay. So at this point, you're just like, all right, probably a good time for the bouncers. Like,
yeah, and it's Texas, so you're like, everybody has guns.
No, but in my opinion, I was like, JJ was there too, and all the crowd. I was like, in my opinion, I was kind of like, and I even said this, I was like, if this guy walks on the stage, he's gonna get his fucking clock cleaned, buddy. Dude, I had like
fucking dummy, bud.
There was
Jersey, fucking full yard sale.
Well, there's 3 or 4 dudes in the front row that are big. My buddies are there. Like everyone was like. There was a lot of people in that crowd that were like, I hope he goes on the stage.
Yeah.
So he's going there. He's got his blinking lights. He's like drunk out of his mind, standing beside the stage. Eventually, one of the bouncers comes over and it's like, hey, come on. He gets in a fight with the bouncer. So then they pull his beads. He throws the beads at the club owners, his like Christmas lights or whatever. So this is going on forever. And then eventually I was just like, all right, like, and then they still didn't kick them out So this went on forever. And then I find out that the guy who's at who's like the leader of that party was buddies with the owner, and he's the guy who helped them find the building. So he was like a mafia made guy.
Yeah, he was a made man.
And apparently the club's frantically calling the owner, being like, we have to kick your people.
It's Joe Pesci in Casino.
It was Joe Pesci in Casino.
He goes, just deal him again. Like, it's literally that. He goes, just deal him again.
That's what it was.
And he keeps dealing him like bus cards. He goes, what, you think this is fucking funny? He's like throwing cards at him.
No, it was that. And so I now know that. They were running around frantically at the back being like, yo, apparently this guy's a made man. Yeah. So this is why they had so much of the thing, because the guy was probably like, hey, I can bring you. By the way, he was crazy apologetic after, but like there was
the guy who was making the scene.
No, the guy who brought them.
Oh, of course.
But apparently it was like he probably said to those guys, "We're to a party." He's like, "I basically own a comedy."
Right,
he's being that guy. And then they come, and I was like, "You guys are gonna get kicked out," and they're like. The girls are like, "Oh, we're gonna get kicked out." My, coworker fucking runs this. Like they had that attitude, right? So and that's why they didn't tell them to take the Christmas lights off too, because everyone that works there is afraid of these guys because they think if they went and kicked them out, they'd lose their job.
Yeah, which they might.
I don't think they would.
But I'm saying if they were...
The owners of that club's a cool guy. I'm sure he would probably been get rid of him. Like, you know what I mean?
He's probably like, I paid you to find me the space. Fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, he would have probably been mad at the guy and be like, yeah, of course kick him out or whatever. But no one thought that. And it got physical with the two people. It was nuts.
I think the dream for any comedian dealing with a heckler is like they come up on stage to fight you, and then you like fuck them up with the mic cable, like you do like some Bruce Lee where you wrap them all up and then you fucking like punch them.
Sure,
that's like the dream. That's like the owning a heckling video that's never been actually done, because it's always like the guy comes on stage and the comic's like, oh shit, and then they're trying to like escape.
There's been a one or two where they'll
punch them, but never with the wrapping them up with the cord.
Yeah, like some crazy Bruce Lee
stuff. Yeah, some Bruce Lee stuff.
Wrap the guy up and then tie it to the thing, and then you start pulling it. So you're like pulley
you
system.
Throw the mic over the rafter, and then you'd be like, and then you fucking tie, and they hang there hog tied, and you finish your fucking.
He's hanging there from the rafters, hog tied.
It's like Nutty Professor style.
And then for your finisher, as you do your last joke, you do like a sweep kick, and then just kick him down. And he lands.
That'd be the ultimate destroying of a heckler.
Yeah, definitely. Heckler destroyed mentally and physically. Verbally and physically.
And then they just leave him there. They close the club and he's just there.
Cheers style. Yeah, so that one thing I noticed about Texas people, also on the topic, is that same as New York, but it's like there's New York people and Texas people have no idea how the other ones live in. Like, cause I remember you'll talk to the same way people in New York, it's like, oh, I guess everyone's just like a racist hillbilly.
Right, and they all have guns. And then probably in Texas, they're like, so how often do you have to eat rats? And you're like, it's not really.
There's a lot of the Texas attitude of like, you probably can't even, do comedy in New York. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
I'm sure you say anything, you just get arrested. And you're just like, I feel like what everyone thinks about New York is or like places like that, they think college kids.
Of course.
But really, you go, what New York really is like Chris from Brooklyn. Like what New York mostly is, you think it's like, oh, it's, you're just walking around and, you say the wrong gender and you're fucking in jail, right? The real thing is you walk around and it's like a guy that dresses like a white thug from the 90s, like asks you why you're looking at him.
Yeah. And you're like always you're always like trying not to just accidentally disrespect people.
Yes, that's a perfect way of describing it.
It's all about, it's a very respect culture, which is probably similar to what it is in Texas. They're all about like dueling and honor.
And they all have guns and you're like, these guys have guns too.
Yeah, they have guns too. They're just,
we just don't
not
have
legal.
Guns. No, that's a good way. That's what it is. It was, you're just walking around trying to make sure that you don't disrespect anyone.
That's pretty much New York. No eye contact, no disrespect, and hopefully you just get home safe.
Yeah. So that idea of like what they're thinking of the college campus, and I guess the politicians,
and they also watch their news sources that kind of like misrepresent New York purposefully. Yeah. They'll watch something. Will be like, it's crazy in New York.
You can't say anything.
You can't say anything.
And then vice versa, everyone in New York's like, well, they're all like...
And they in New York,
they're just
watch
walking
Rachel Maddow about Texas, and they go like, wow, Texas is like, if you want to try to get an abortion, they shoot you in the face. And you go, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy what's going on in Texas.
Their family dinners are just 10 people sitting around the table yelling the N-word.
Yeah, basically. You're going, all right, everybody, grab your Klan hoods. We're going to say a prayer.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. The internet gets you like that too, though. You get on the internet too much, you do get a little like
radicalizes you, if you will.
Yeah, sometimes it will be honestly, even though we just said it, there's a lot of crime or whatever. Sometimes you'll be on the internet and being like, yeah, New York's so bad, you can't even like go outside. And then you're like, I'm currently outside.
Yeah, I'm currently outside. I mean, even my girlfriend, she's like, she always is like, don't take the subway. She's so dangerous. I'm like, first off, she doesn't really take the subway that much because right now it's just
maybe don't take it at 3 a.m.
Well, no, the amount of police, I don't know, like the amount of police in the subways now is insane.
Okay.
It's like one police officer for every 10 people down there now. They're just...
Really?
Yeah, and they're all like... They don't seem like they're good police officers, particularly. They all seem like they just walked in and just signed up.
Yeah.
And they're like, just grab a uniform. They go like, this one doesn't fit that well. And they go, don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're just on subway patrol.
We just need you down there. They just stand there. They're all just standing around, just hanging out.
So they just have a ton of cops on the patrol.
Yeah, well, that's what people were asking. We're like, hey, the
really
subways are
seen
getting
that.
dangerous, so they're like, we just need more police in the subways.
And presence.
Yeah.
It does help a little bit.
For sure it does. I haven't seen anything besides like, your garden variety.
Cops mucking around the subway probably does help.
For sure. Oh, 100%. 100%. I just don't know where these cops come from. Like, where do they just get them from all
They
of a
take
sudden?
them off all the real, like they're out, there's like all these other stuff that really needs cops. Like every, there's someone like, I'm getting robbed at the moment. You're like, we have 95 cops in the subway.
Yeah, we got
Hey,
the subways are safe.
Once subway patrol's done, we'll send them over there.
Probably. And I do think of the fact that I'm like, well, I see all these cops in these fairly affluent areas. Like I see them on the subway in like Union Square. And, like I'm sure someone living in the Bronx is like, yeah, I haven't seen a cop down here in fucking 6 months. Would be lovely if we get like one. And shit smeared on me by some random dude.
Sure. That is true.
And then there's like 40 in the Williamsburg station.
Yeah, I'm only from East Village to East Village. That's my
Right, so you're like, yeah.
maybe to Williamsburg.
Right, so you're like, yeah, I don't really see it.
One thing was I was like, no, because I'm at the finishing stretch of where my brain was like overloaded with all the stuff.
Yeah.
Which I actually feel like JJ was complaining all weekend about stuff, and I had to tell him to stop complaining. He
has a different set of complaints.
Well, no, but he just complaining about this and that, and I was just like, this whole complaining business has got to turn down a little bit. It's getting on my nerves.
Genetic.
Sure, there was that too.
Yeah.
Also, it was funny because Robbie Bernstein came to.
Was he a big complainer?
No, I don't think normally. I think Robbie Bernstein's great, but he came to the show and he did a spot because he was in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And then he basically his like stomach was hurting, so he was like coming to hang out or whatever, and he did a spot, but his stomach was hurting. He was like, oh, and then JJ was complaining about something, and it was just like two old Jewish guys like complaining about, oh my stomach. He was even saying, he was like, I've transferred into my dad or whatever, right?
Goes, oh, my tummy.
It was literally like him being like, my tummy, and JJ being like, I'll never make it. Like, so they're going on and on, right? But I actually, as I was watching JJ complaining about stuff, I was like, you know what? I need to stop complaining about stuff. Because I honestly am embarrassed about myself that, because, we're lifestyle design guys.
Yeah.
You were the original getting me into lifestyle design, guys.
Yeah.
But the problem is you plan it 4 months in advance, but there is a thing where it's like, if your life's too busy or whatever for like a month, it's one thing, but if it's 2 months, you go, oh, that's your fault, right?
For sure. For sure. And it's like when you plan it seems like a good idea.
I know.
When you're at some point when you're doing it, you're like, this sucks. But then once you get out of it, you're like, well, I'm glad I did that. And then once you're like idle for a week, you're like, I'm bored now.
I know.
You're like, it's grass is always greener.
No, the problem is you plan your life for zero hiccups. Mm-hmm. You're just like, you go, okay, I could do this and this and this and this and that month. And then you have something that takes 4 days and you're just like, okay, well, I only had 3 days to spare. So now I have 0 days.
Sure.
And then one other thing comes up. It's just like, now you don't have.
Yeah, now you just have.
And it's not one of those things where because you're on planes all the time. So it's not even like you can kind of do two things at once. Or, you know what I mean?
No. Yeah, that's true.
You're like, oh, just stay up late that day. You're like, okay, but my plane's at 5 tomorrow.
I can't tell you how many times actually I've been like, you know what, I'm gonna do like something on that I need to do on my laptop on the plane, and then I have like this laptop, and I'm like, oh, I can't even really open it on this.
Sure.
I can't even get it open. I guess not.
So, but the reason I bring that up, it was making me laugh that I was getting, whenever I get like that, I get to I always try to get over the top with organizing, right? To being like, okay, at 8 o'clock I'm doing this, 11 o'clock I'm doing this. And then I had my like lists of, things I need to do. And then I make a list of things I need to think about.
Yeah.
And then so someone will be like, hey, what are you doing Friday? And I'll literally write down, like, think about what you're doing Friday. It was getting out of control where I was ordering groceries and I caught myself, but I was making a list of foods that I like. And because
you're just roboticizing yourself.
Yeah, no, because
you're literally like writing the code for Ryan. So like when they're able to transfer the code over into like like a robot or whatever, you'll be like, here's my lines of code.
My chick was fucking killing me because I had a list. She goes, what is that list? Because I was ordering food. I go, let me see.
Can I get a taste of this list, please?
Literally,
I need to know some of the items on this list. Please.
Well, the reason I was getting killed on it is literally a list, and it goes, foods I like. The first one was beans. Because they ordered beans a while ago.
Now, okay, is beans heading, and is there like bullet points under types of beans?
No.
You don't break that down.
No, so what? And the reason for that was because I ordered beans for breakfast foods, right?
Yeah.
So the can of beans.
That's a new thing about you that I didn't know is your penchant for beans.
Well, then what happened was we ordered food again, and then I didn't have any beans, so I was like, I need to make my list that I like beans.
Like you kind of like, it's your rider, essentially. Your riders, there must always be beans.
But also it was making me laugh, the idea of someone being like, hey, Ryan, do you like beans? And you go, let me check.
Oh, it's actually top of the list. Yes, I do.
That's a good question. I'm not sure if I like beans or not.
It's funny too because you're like, that's number one on your list, but I imagine you're not making things with beans.
I just put them in the microwave.
Yeah, you're just eating beans out of a can.
Well, what happens
what if I gave you a bag of dry beans? Would you just toss them?
No, I don't want dry beans.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to get them.
So you've never had a thing where you're like, someone's like, hey, did you like that restaurant? And you're like, I kind of can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm making a list of places and foods I like. That's what I was doing.
What's like top 3 after beans?
Granola bars, cereals that I like.
Yeah. This is
Bernios. I said I liked Bernios.
What's a Bernio?
I don't know what it is, but it's like a spaghettio, but it's not Bernie Sanders.
Oh, but SpaghettiOs. It's like a Trader Joe's SpaghettiOs or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
you basically, that's like the same list as if you ask a 6-year-old. You go, hey, I'm going grocery shopping. What do you want?
Coffee pods. That was another thing on the foods I like.
Yeah. Beans number 1 though.
That was the funny part, was that I had a list of foods that I like,
and beans is number 1.
It's because I forgot to get them the last time. It's a solid breakfast.
Just a can of beans?
Well, it's good for you, I think.
It is. It's from the 4-hour.
It's not even that I like
Tim
it
Ferriss'
so much.
4-hour body was beans.
He says beans?
Beans is a big one.
I'm telling you, beans is good.
Slow carbs is what they are. But are you eating like the sweet baked beans with tons of sugar in them?
Maybe.
Yeah. You're eating a bowl of cereal that's essentially just beans.
You're eating a bunch of maple syrup?
Yeah, it's like tons of maple syrup and just beans.
So what do? You have to give beans with no sauce?
Yeah.
All right, where do you get those?
You buy them in a bag and then you soak them overnight.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
And then you make stuff with
I'll tell you what's not going on the list, what you just said.
Do you eat baked? Do you like the baked, like the mashed ones?
No.
Like the kind of campfire mashed beans?
No, all that stuff sounds stupid. I like the can.
You just like a can of sweet beans.
That's what's on the list, Danny. I don't have to have this conversation.
Dude, honestly,
Danny, I'll just forward you the list. We don't have to do this.
If there is a depression, you are going to be living so
I won't
good.
notice.
You won't notice at all. Like Ryan's depression grocery list and your economic boom grocery list are the same list.
That's
just
correct.
Cans of beans.
Yes.
Cans of beans sounds like you're winning.
Cans of beans are nice, bro.
Dude, there's a lot of people who are going to have to be really downgrading their lives.
You seen So everyone's talking about this Harry and Meghan people. I don't know if you know.
I'm not gonna lie. I saw something about him.
That's a big Netflix doc.
I know there's a Netflix doc, and they talk shit about the Queen or something. I'm not gonna lie though. I haven't really looked into it.
You know what's going on with this Harry and Meghan thing? Harry wasn't ready for this life. We've all seen this. The bottom line was Meghan Markle's doing what she's going to do.
Yeah.
Right? And you go, it's your buddy that has a girlfriend like that you go, buddy, you're not ready for this life. You can't handle a girl like that.
No. And he probably thought he could because he's like, well, I'm like the prince.
And he's been around people that haven't been trying to screw him his whole life. You know what I mean? Not screw him, but take advantage.
Sure.
And they don't
Very
know.
insulated.
Yes, so he doesn't know what to do when he's in a scenario like this. But I got to show you the opposite of that, which is why I brought it up.
Okay.
So this is from TikTok. Remember how I showed you the seminar?
Yeah.
So there's this church seminar that these girls go to on how to be better wives or whatever.
Nice.
This is the one you got to send your chick to this.
I will.
So this is even better than the 21 seminar. Ready?
I'm working on being more sensitive to not being too outspoken when my husband and I are in a group setting and talking over him, talking too much. I mean, especially because he is a Christian and he's wise and he has good things to say.
I like it so far.
I love this shit. I might have to be a Christian. I didn't know this is what Christian's about.
I had no idea that being Christian.
This is the PatriarchFest.
Are you sure?
It says 2021 Ladies Conference.
Oh, this is the.
I think this is it.
Oh, really?
This is PatriarchFest.
Fuck, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong, but I think this is it.
I thought this was something else.
No.
So this is the lady seminar they're getting sent to.
Yeah, this is the +1. This is the free trip to Orlando.
I've been working on
But you have to
talking
go to
less
this.
because my husband's so wise.
Good. I mean, this is good advice.
How wise do you think the husband actually is?
Pretty wise. I mean, if he duped
Wise enough to bring her to this.
Wise enough to talk her into going to this and her going.
Yeah.
Like, she's here.
She's not only going, she came with questions. Look at this.
She's eating the slop.
And he can't say them if I'm talking. So I'm wondering about when, if ever, it's appropriate. If I've noticed when I've been in a group setting that I've talked over him and stuff, then of course I know that it's right to go to him and to apologize and ask for forgiveness and repent. I'm wondering if it's ever right to go to the other people who were in the group and apologize.
This just went from like pretty good based advice to like, oh, I think she's like in an abusive relationship.
Did you hear the
like,
question?
Really? Yeah. But she's like, should I go apologize to all the other people in the group?
She said, obviously, I apologize to my husband when I speak too much, but should I make the rounds and do more apologies to everyone else?
That would be insane. Some chick she goes, hey, can I,
Dude, if your girlfriend
can we
came
talk for
up
a
to me?
second?
Yeah.
She goes, I'm sorry. I don't know if you saw, but I, earlier when Danny was talking, I spoke over him. And
Your girlfriend apologizing
to you. Yeah. She goes,
because she spoke over
me.
you.
And you're like, what? Fuck? And what? And you go, yeah, it's just like he was talking. He had a really good story going. And then it was pretty funny.
And I'm like, honestly, I
promise
promise you he did not have a really good story going.
And she goes, it was the best story I've ever heard. And then I interrupted because I had a point that I wanted to make, but it didn't really add to it. So
and you and I both know Danny's so wise.
I know, he's so wise and just such a sage. And anyways, I just want to apologize to you, Ryan.
Ryan, I'm so sorry when Danny was farting. I fucking talked, and we know he likes people to hear his farts because he's been working on the volume.
He's been working on
and
them.
honestly, I should never have interrupted that when Danny was telling us.
It's just like, will you accept my apology? And you go, I'll think about it.
Honestly, because you just sort of talked over me, so I'd like an apology for that too.
I'm sure the other side of the Patriarch Fest is they're telling the guys who be like, never when the girl apologizes for speaking over the guy to you, don't accept those apologies.
Don't accept the apologies.
Yeah, let her stew a bit.
Guess what the advice was, by the way?
I probably can't.
Okay, so the advice the girl said, I'll just play it. So the girl has advice. The advice is exactly, it's exactly.
Is it chicken in a MAGA hat? Like the dude in the MAGA hat?
No, it's some old
Anthony
lady.
Dream Johnson?
And I realized that in that setting of us four, I haven't had that quiet and submissive spirit. Is that ever right to address with Laura afterward, if that makes sense?
Well, in a situation like that, if you think you talked too much, then I would go to my husband and ask him his thought.
Yeah, he goes, should you apologize to other people in your group? And you go, I mean, then you go to your husband and see what he thinks. Like, I'm not the one that you should be asking this to. He goes, you're asking the wrong question. He's like, so obviously you go to apologize to your husband and then ask your husband if he'd like you to apologize to everyone else.
He goes, I think that would be wise. I'm wise.
You're so fucking wise.
So fucking wise.
Oh my God, you're so fucking
That's
wise.
mental. If my girlfriend came up to me and she goes, I think I've been talking too much.
Well, that'd be the fucking day hell freezes over.
I would be looking around for cameras everywhere. I'd be like, what do you mean? What's happening here? You think you're...
Yeah, what are you up to? You know what it'd be like? You know what would happen if your chick came up to you and she was like, you know what? I've been talking too much. I shouldn't have interrupted you when you're around your friends. You would go look at all your credit card statements because you just bought a $5,000 bag.
Something happened. Something real fucked up happened.
And you go, what did you do?
What did you do?
What did you do?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Isn't that fucking nutty?
We got to go to PatriarchFest.
I know. I'm going to take a quick break here to tell you about the Box of Awesome by Bespoke Post. Now, if you don't know, awesome is the feeling that is sparked when the unexpected happens. And that's exactly what Bespoke Posts have delivered in their new winter lineup of the must-have Box of Awesome collections. If you haven't checked it out, you want to do it. Bespoke Post partners with small businesses and emerging brands to bring you the most unique goods every month. And there's a bunch of these boxes. And, you know, whether it's a present or for yourself, go over the site, check it out. There's like the, you know, I'll tell you about a couple boxes. We got the Terra Box, which comes with stuff like the knife in the Terra Box is made by Bare Bones, based in Salt Lake City. The Scorch hot sauces from small brands all over the country, some from Texas, Nevada, California, and more. There's alcohol ones. There's you know, a lot of like hiking and stuff like that.
Cigars.
Cigars.
Yeah,
so there's a whole
cigars and some whiskey.
Cigars, some whiskey. There's a whole bunch of this kind of stuff. Dude shit for anyone that you want to buy something for or yourself. It's the perfect thing, right? So no matter where you're going this winter, Box of Awesome's got you covered. From cozy essentials to travel to cocktail kits, Box of Awesome has everything you need this winter. To get started, what you do is you go to boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help you pick the right Box of Awesome for you. They release the new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. Each box is valued around $70, but you only pay a fraction of that price. You're supporting small business. 90% of everything that comes in your Box of Awesome is from a small and up-and-coming brand. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime. Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code BOYSCAST at checkout. Again, that's boxofawesome.com, code BOYSCAST for 20% off your first box. Boxofawesome.com, code BOYSCAST. Next, I got to tell you about Athletic Greens. You know that I use. Me and Danny both use it every single day. Pop one scoop in there. You shake it up. You're healthy. I'll tell you what.
Love the taste too.
You know what? I was talking to my mom for Christmas.
Yeah.
And we were even saying.
Is that where her present?
No. I was talking about, she was saying maybe she was like asking me what I want, and I was kind of saying nothing. And she was like, maybe vitamins. And I was like, I guess, but I take this other thing, Athletic Greens. And then we're looking it up, and you're like, well, yeah, it's like all of them. So it's like, you don't really need any of the other ones. So it's like, I basically was like, okay, don't get me anything then. But that's how good Athletic Greens are. It's the only thing you need. It's a product I take every single day. You start taking Athletic Greens if you want better sleep, more energy, optimized immune system. If you don't like taking pills or other vitamins, it's all you need. I do it before a workout. One delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens to help start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, nervous system, immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, and supports better sleep health, recovery. You're investing in all-in-one nutritional insurance. So, tastes great, tropical taste. And right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially when we're heading into the cold and flu season. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you got to do is visit athleticgreens.com/boyscast. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/boyscast to take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Another thing with those, another thing with the church thing was, what was making me laugh on the internet was calling dudes pick me boys.
Pick me boys.
Like when guys were saying like, hey man, women are so great, and they go, you're just a pick me boy.
Yeah, you're pick me boy.
Because that's sort of what they say, right?
Well, the female dating strategy, that's what they call the worst of the chicks are the pick me's. They're the turncoats.
So what? Yeah, basically it's like they're calling that a pick me boy.
Pick me
It's
boy,
like
yeah.
all the stuff's getting flipped. It's like pretty funny.
Yeah, I was saying, have you know the term love bombing? Have you heard that term?
What's about love bombing?
Love bombing is just like
I know love
I've been
bombing,
having
yeah.
debate on this because I think isn't love bombing just like it's been turned into some negative thing.
It is a negative thing.
But isn't
No,
it
picture. It's like what we have friends that do this. It would be like, it's essentially picture like a New York sad boy,
Yeah.
that meets a girl and just talking like you're a weekend, you've hung out twice, and you're just like, I'm so in love with you. We need to go on vacation. Like, baby, you're like it's it's a Mr. like Casanova.
but I thought
they're always
Casanova
like-
was a good thing.
Well,
Who's making this?
the
a negative
problem
thing?
is that Casanova doesn't last for. This is the thing about Casanova. He's like that with a new girl every 3 days, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
That's true.
The thing is, it's like you start dating a girl, and then you're just like all in. Texting her 100 times a day. I love you. You're the love of my
I guess
life.
the love you stuff is
And
But
then within
I
half
thought it
an
was just
hour-
like pulling out all the stops.
No. It's like it's like you basically. You tell the girls what they want to hear. They're just like,
Every girl I've ever been with.
yes, but then like the idea is you do it for like a week, and then you're like over them.
and then you're over them.
I feel like
that seems like a weird one. Just
you
to
really
get,
don't. I can picture 5 people we know that do this.
I mean, I thought that just like a lot of guys do that, but to get
how many guys
to get
have you
into a
never seen like a
relationship.
guy that like started dating a girl and he was like, she's so perfect, I'm in love with her, and you're just like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah.
Well, they're love bombing the girl.
I don't know, that just seems like a way just guys get in relationships. They just pull out all the stops at the beginning, and then just kind of once they get in, they kind of give them a dose of reality.
No, because they believe it.
I guess
That's
if you
this
leave
is the
the
part
right-
that you're
I guess if
missing.
you leave a week
No,
later.
you're missing the part where they believe it. It's kind of like
Oh.
guys that act like chicks a little. Like it's very like it's like a very like emo thing to do, in my opinion.
Interesting. Yeah, some people say it's like abuse, and I'm like, I don't get that.
Well, I don't know about that, but like, I mean, because they believe it, right?
Right.
They're in it. But I guess the idea is it's manipulative because you're selling a girl a dream that doesn't exist. But like,
That's every relationship I've ever been in.
well, yeah, sure, right? I'm not though. I feel like I don't sell like the different dream.
No, the older I got, the less I was giving a fuck.
I don't really sell. Well, I don't
If
know.
anything, it gets better. It was
I
like
don't really
like I
sell
used to
fake
be.
dream.
No, but I'm not even fake dream. But
I
it used,
feel like I'm
it used to be
accurately
like
represent the dream.
Yeah, but it used to be like where I was more into it in the beginning, and then it waned, and then now I'm like less into it at the beginning, and then maybe it gets better.
I feel like the dream that I sell maybe first night you sort of sell somewhat of a dream if you're trying to smash.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But it's like I don't. After that, I'm not.
No. I mean, the
just
crazy
whatever
love
I
bombing thing, I
normally
guess, is the guys who are like, "I love you," and then "I love you so much, I want to marry you," and then like a week later, like block you for like that's fucking weird.
Well, that's
why even do
that's the
that?
dentist system.
That is the dentist, that's right. That is the dentist system. I'm like, why even do that?
Well, James Cameron from Avatar, sick movie, but
The new one?
I haven't seen the new one.
Oh yeah, the first one.
James Cameron, he's been on like a press tour, and he said that testosterone's a toxin that needs to be removed from your body. So basically, he didn't like that.
I mean, it's not that I don't like it. It's just like nonsense. He's essentially was like a prick.
Yeah,
And then now he's retroactively defending himself by being like, "Oh, it was the testosterone that made me such a fucking asshole."
Yeah,
Like, fuck you. You're an asshole. And now you're
a
trying
lot of those Hollywood guys. Are,
like you were a notorious piece of shit. And then now you're just trying to rewrite that story as being like, "Oh, it wasn't me, it was the testosterone."
It is sort of, you're basically repenting. Like they're just like, "Why are you an asshole on set?" And you're like, I was powerless to the T.
To the T. Yeah, you're like, fuck off.
And you do a tea exorcism. How good is that, though? You basically cast thy tea out of thy body. When you start working at like a blog, they give you a tea exorcist.
He should have a mandatory estrogen patch. If you say shit like this, you go slap an estrogen patch on your neck.
Like it's just all these like bloggers being like, "Get it out of your body." You go. And then you finally like come to, and you go, "Are you okay? Did we exercise him too hard?" He comes down, he goes, "Are you sure we're safe to end this pandemic?"
Why is nobody wearing masks within 6 feet of
They go, "It worked."
6 feet. 6 feet.
yeah.
He goes, it worked.
So,
By God, it worked.
yeah, they go, testosterone trended on Twitter. And that's not because the hormone had to pay $8 for this thing's full of, did you read this article?
It was one of the, this was, you know what this
Chock
was?
full of bad
This
jokes.
was written by that Chat GPT thing. This was one of those articles you go like, oh, this is what that fucking AI would crank.
It's not because the hormone had to pay $8 for Twitter to get Elon Musk's blue check mark. This thing was
Like they're just
chock
like
full of those.
mishmashing all the things of the week into an article.
Yeah, it was bad jokes in this article. It's like,
NPC City.
no, that didn't happen. Instead, trending was because director James Cameron said that he described himself as a wild testosterone poised man and labeled testosterone as a toxin you need to slowly work out of your system.
Do you think James Cameron at any point, like when he was doing like Terminator or whatever, he's like, I fucking love testosterone!
He's just presenting himself as Mr.
Like he's
High
like
Tea.
so like icy. He's like,
It's sort of a humble brag.
yeah, walking around, T-boys, T-A-R-E, T-boys.
You know what it is. He's just punching into
Yeah,
it.
he's like fucking making Arnold Schwarzenegger flinch. Hey, Arnie. Yeah, T-boys. Testosterone.
I'm a T-boy. Yeah, that's not the type of T-boy he is.
What is it, T-boy?
That's HR. It's like, hey, we have a complaint about you. Now you got to complain with testosterone. You're talking the wrong department, bitch. Who loves testosterone?
We love testosterone. Testosterone.
Thank you for this award for Avatar, but really we want to thank the main character, Testosterone. Yeah. My boy Tyrone. You want to got him Tyrone Testosterone. You know I did it all for the T. Come on, the T. Come on. Yeah, so he's very testosterone heavy back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, the next Avatar, if it's going to come out, it's going to be like super low T Avatar.
Probably. I wonder, does he thank testosterone for all the bangers he made?
No, he's ashamed of the bangers, I think.
Oh. That's too bad.
I think he's saying he still would have made the bangers, but he wouldn't have yelled and screamed on set.
Like Terminator was not testosteronator.
Yeah, that's true, right? I think he was saying like Terminator. No, it was the good parts of his body that made Terminator, but it was the bad parts of his body that that dumped a thermos of coffee on the intern.
T1000. That was T1000, right? That's testosterone. That's what the T stood for in T1000 was testosterone. She was the bad guy. Everybody had nightmares of him chasing you down.
Yeah. See, writing the movie, that was James Cameron. Kicking the intern in the crotch, that was fucking testosterone.
Remember all the parts that you didn't like about my movies? That was the testosterone.
That was the testosterone.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Putting cameras on my shoes and then walking around the set when everyone had skirts on, that was testosterone.
That was testosterone. That was not cool testosterone.
See, writing to Terminator, all JC.
Yeah.
JC.
I mean, it's smart if it
However,
works.
putting the cameras in the toilets,
Pecans.
putting the cameras in the outhouses. Now that was testosterone. Have a problem here because some of these things you're having a problem with were me, and some of them are testosterone.
I mean, if it works, it's very clever.
Coming up,
It's
yeah.
essentially being like, you remember when I was on drugs in the 90s? I'm so sorry. I was on heroin.
I'm
but
so
you're like-
sorry.
He's like, I was on drugs.
yeah.
Testosterone.
My testosterone was.
And you're like, well, it's not really a drug. We're like, but you can inject it into yourself, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
You
It is
I
a dark
guess.
chemical. I mean, he's not completely lying.
No, for sure. It makes dudes do some
Sort of like when they take V in The Boys. Like, it helps you, but it also...
Yeah, for sure. That's,
Dude, can you imagine...
every guy knows that it's wreaks some havoc on your life at some point.
Can you imagine you just took away all your sex drive? Like, you just go, that's gone.
Yeah.
But, and I think what happens is you go, other stuff's attached to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go, oh, I would just be all productive. But it's like, if you probably took away your sex drive entirely, you're kind of like, but why, though?
I see no purpose.
It's a T's a blessing and a curse, right?
Of course. Well, I guess you gotta balance the T zone.
Those statements seem to rile up the testosterone of those who are apparently hardcore fans of the hormone. So they're saying a lot of people,
Hardcore fans of the hormone.
you got a problem with testosterone, you got a problem with us.
Me, pal.
What the fuck? Yo, we hear you talk. Someone's talking shit.
Some talking shit about testosterone.
Yes. Yo, what's this business we hear that you got a problem with testosterone?
This honestly article has just AI.
That was your
written
old joke
all-
that Toblerone would be a pretty good name for a black kid.
Yeah, Toblerone, testosterone. Both of them.
leading to some "I'm an alpha manly man" types, and "this is a war on men" responses may have been a bit over the top. Yeah, they did not want people talking shit about testosterone.
I
man.
love
That's
the guy on
fucking-
Twitter who's like, wakes up, opens up Twitter, testosterone's trending. He's like,
Better be good.
this fucking better
It better be
this
people saying how much they like
yeah,
it.
this better be a fucking pro testosterone. I'm so sick of all these sissy men,
Girly man.
girly men. And then he opens it and is talking shit about testosterone.
As a high T man myself, it is funny, like you just openly claiming how high T you are.
Yeah,
Just always, I might put high T in my bios.
I'm a medium T man.
Claiming that testosterone is a toxin, and there's a war against men, in fact, might show that you are being oversensitive and a snowflake. Oh, everyone's a snowflake.
Thanks, Forbes.
I that's my favorite. That when I mean, we always talk about this, but whenever it divulges into, I'm not a snowflake, you're a snowflake. I'm not a snowflake, you're a snowflake.
It's just everybody using the terms.
Who has higher T? I think so. Danny you're like sort of a low T.
I'm a medium T. I've
You're sort of a
I've
low
had my
T,
blood
man.
work done recently.
You did your blood work?
Yeah.
I looked up signs of testosterone. So
I was.
my brother's got a high T. I feel like I can
was in
actually
the
tell.
400s. I can't remember the exact number, but I was in the 400s.
There is
right
whenever
in the
people
middle.
have really high T, it's like they feel like they could explode on you.
Yeah,
Your is 400s high or low?
it's in the middle. It says.
Do you know the Try Guys? Remember those guys?
Yeah.
They had one episode where they're all like girly men, right?
Yeah.
And then they did an episode where they all did a testosterone test and they all had like crazy low T.
Makes sense. I mean, it is in the sense where like it does make you more aggressive. Like I'm sure if we just go on T,
I might I think
for sure.
if I turn 40, I think I go on T.
next in the next couple of years. I'm
You're
going
on it soon?
I mean, it's just it doesn't.
That might be nice to get to try that for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem like a good reason not to be honest. But yeah, I'll definitely. But my
T-boys?
T-boys. But it does obviously.
It also
make
might
you more
balance out your
aggressive.
estrogen.
All the soy I drink. It does make you more aggressive, no question. Like if you're saying that thing, but again, it's like I'm sure if you like, the whole thing of like roid rage and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't have to overdo it. But it could be overdone. I'm sure you could get.
I might overdo it.
Like I'm sure you could
I think
get it to the point.
I'm planning on overdoing it. I think I'm gonna go like whatever you recommended dosage, double it. That's what I think I'm going with.
Just like like the people quitting smoking and they have like 10 patches on them.
Yeah,
It's gonna be you with testosterone.
I'm gonna have all these testosterone patches. So
Yeah, we know a lot of guys are on.
who would you
T.
bet's higher, me or you?
Maybe I don't know. Probably maybe you. I don't know.
This
Maybe
says-
so. I don't think you're a super high T guy. Though.
Oh, you're gonna say that to my face,
I
huh?
don't know. You don't seem like. I don't know. I don't think so.
You're so coming from a low T guy though. So it does
I'm not a low T
It
guy.
does take one to know one, so you wouldn't know.
I got my blood work. I'm not.
Okay,
low T.
so number one is risky or aggressive behavior can be tied to testosterone.
Yeah.
So that is possible that you and your I
Do
think
you think Sam Bankman-Fried is high T?
Sam.
He's
No,
been doing
you're
a lot
high
of-
T for
but
putting
he's-
all your money in Sam Bankman-Fried's website.
Well, but he's been doing some pretty risky things too. You think he's high T?
Who has? I think I might have riskier behavior than you.
Maybe.
Remember, you like even with moving here, like you have to wait for me to come test the waters first.
Yeah. Well, I was waiting for my visa.
What's who you think that you have riskier behavior than me, or I have riskier behavior?
I'm not risk averse for sure.
no, neither of us are
definitely-
risk averse, but I'm more risk
I'm
averse.
more risk averse when it comes to my physical health, I guess.
What does that mean?
Like in terms of like I might do things that are risky, but like I'm more risk averse if
Condoms?
something-
Where's your stance on condoms?
not a condom,
Okay,
no.
so both of us might be somewhat risky.
Yeah, I do risky things.
High risk. You do like you go to the
But I won't do like
bathhouses without any
the bathhouses.
condoms.
But I won't do like I don't want to go skydiving or anything.
But I don't. It's not because I'm afraid of it. I just actually have no interest in doing that because I don't think it'd be fun. Oh, you think it's because I'm afraid?
That's what a fucking estrogen man says. That's estrogen talk right there.
Actually, the thing is, I'd probably fall too fast because my T would weigh me down. The parachute wouldn't be able to hold me up if I had all the T.
You'd break like terminal velocity
Because of the T, with too much T.
Too much T. They don't make parachutes for high T guys like you.
Excuse me.
That's the risk. You'd be a goddamn death sentence.
Excuse me. Where's the section for high? Do you have a section for high T guys?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I have my reservation here. Just want to make sure I want to be in the
That
high
big
T
titty
section.
teacher from Oakville went skydiving.
That's not a high T. It's like
He's probably fucking T through the roof.
I don't consider that like a risky thing because I wouldn't be worried if I go skydiving that I might die. I'd be worried that like this is a waste of a day because I have other risky shit to do.
That is. I mean, I'm sure the comments will agree with me, but that's just estrogen talk right there.
Have you gone parachuting?
No, I'm afraid of it.
I'm not afraid of it. Okay, how about this? With jet skis, though, I'm like that. I'm not afraid to jet ski.
I like jet skiing.
I've done it many times. I'm just not interested.
Jet skiing's sick.
Oh my God.
That's not
you trying to fit in with men. You're like an alien trying to fit in with men. You're like, hello, boys. I'd like to jet ski.
Jet skiing is shit.
But I'm not afraid to parachute. I just have no interest in activities. And it's not because they're risky. I have other risky things to do.
Like what? Fucking list your favorite foods?
I put a crazy percentage of my net worth in fucking
beans. That's the thing too. You got to do the David Lynch thing, Ryan, where you invest in what you know. You should be investing all in beans. But like not like Jack and the Beanstalk. Like you have some bean company. You go, dude, this company right here is making real breakthroughs in beans.
I'm talking to like investors.
Ryan's got like the bean pitch deck.
I have Ryan Long comedy beans.
Because like everybody has like a little cup with like a spoon in it. Be like just you're handing bean samples out. Everybody try that. Everybody's like, what the fuck is this?
What do people like? Beans.
What do people like? Beans, money.
Yeah.
That's your pitch.
Okay. Yeah. This is me talking to investors. I have like I brought everyone I know together with money, and they're like, "What is this? You said you need to talk to us." I go, "Who here has heard of a bean?"
Some kind of fucking joke.
I go, "Listen, this right here is a bowl. You put the beans in the bowl. Taste this." I go, "Yeah, I need everyone to taste this. Take a taste." They go, "Right?"
Yeah, everybody's like, "Yeah, it's pretty." You go, "Oh, I didn't realize."
Cha-ching.
Jackpot.
You go, "Now listen, have you heard of breakfast?" People are eating these for breakfast. They're going to buy them off us soon. How much do you need? This is me on Dragon's Den. On Shark Tank.
Dude, we should get you a Costco membership. You could get giant tins
I
of
have good storage in my new place too. So. Yeah.
You get a lot of beans.
Like woo, the mother load. Woo. That is definitely me on Shark Tank.
Just beans.
All right, boys. Who here is eating a bean? But have you ever had one for breakfast?
No.
This is paradigm shifting behavior.
Think you have some, if we did a 23andMe, you think you maybe have some like Mexican DNA in you? That's why you like beans for breakfast?
Oh, I don't do the Mexican. This is British.
Oh, right. The Brits do eat beans for breakfast.
And I do have probably British DNA, obviously.
Right. Yeah, you do. All right. That makes sense. Yeah.
So risky or aggressive behavior. Okay. Well, I'm not sure which one, but I would say that have more risk than you.
Okay.
Okay. That's my take. I would say it's one for me. So let's put that on the board here.
Put it on the board.
Enlarged breasts. That's a potential thing for high T people. Yeah. Seems like that'd be a thing for low T people.
I thought that was the estrogen people.
I know, but I think a lot of them seem like if you have high T or low T, your breasts go fucking large.
Regardless.
So you have bigger breasts than me, so that's probably one for me. Headaches. My head was definitely hurting earlier, actually. Actually, now that I think about it, I mostly have headaches. I was a high T guy. Danny's head's never
acne.
Did you ever get headaches?
Not really.
Yeah, that's fucking low T, man.
No.
Eeny weeny, teeny weeny, low T, man. So Danny's never had a headache because he's a low T.
Increased appetite.
Put
it on the board. Yes.
Chalk one up.
That's one for me.
Chalk it up. One for Danny.
One for Danny.
Increased appetite. That feels like it shouldn't be a high T one.
That's not fair.
Yeah. Okay, so Fat Boy's got one. My head's actually just got another headache as we were talking. So another one for me for my second headache. Acne. I don't really have that. No. I never really had a crazy
People say too many chocolate bars. Remember that?
Oh, it's the #1 commercial, man.
That was an epic commercial.
Oh my God, look this up.
That guy's a literal that guy is one of the biggest like celebrities in Canada that everybody knows, but nobody knows.
This was the craziest commercial of all time. So this guy, it was an acne commercial.
Every Canadian listening to this show knows exactly.
Dude, you know how many people took like Accutane and like killed themselves? Like, it was like a scandal. But there's this guy and he had acne, and he goes in the commercial. He goes, "People think I eat too many chocolate bars, or that I don't wash my face, but that is not true." Accutane, right?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Legendary commercial in Canada.
You know when me and my buddies went to the flea market and we got this fucking Jamaican soap that was supposed to be good for acne, and all our faces just went beet red. We all showed up to school the next day with the reddest face because it wasn't meant for white skin, right?
Wow.
This was like essentially a pile of dirt that you wipe on your face.
It's racist.
Those flea market guys all have some weird scam that they're up to.
The flea market's a weird scene.
Deeper voice? Who what would you say?
I don't know.
Who do you think has a deeper voice?
Can't get enough of yo.
I have a little rasp that adds.
I think they're like.
That sounded not very deep. If I was to say.
Well, I mean, you're doing it.
No, I'm not. This is how I talk. It's not though.
It comes from here.
It's actually not. This is how I talk. Okay, talking your
Probably
normal
similar.
voice. I don't know. I think that I'm.
It's a tie.
All right, we'll tie for the deeper voice.
Liver or heart issues?
Spike and sex drive. So I probably want to have sex.
I mean, I fucked a dude named Spike last week. So does that count?
Yeah, fucking a dude named Spike. Yeah. All right, what did you say was the other one?
Liver or heart? I do have increased blood pressure. I have high blood pressure.
High blood pressure, is that a high T thing?
That's it. Yeah, it says right here. Signs and symptoms.
How do you know you got high blood pressure?
I have a monitor.
I feel like if you were like a fat guy with low T, that it would be like a.
No, I actually, you know what? How I know it because you
have unrelated. You're high blood pressure.
Is when I got COVID last year. When I got back from Toronto, and then I went to go get a COVID test because I was sure I had COVID, and I went to the clinic. And then they just at the WebMD, CityMD, they take your blood pressure when they do a COVID test. They took my blood pressure, and it was like through the fucking roof. But I just it was a really high, like.
Why'd you get high blood pressure from all the stock trading?
No, I think I have genetically it's in my family or whatever.
That's not good.
But then. The fasting that I've been doing.
I feel like your voice is higher than mine.
Maybe. The fasting I've been doing though, but I'm a little sick. But the fasting I've been doing actually like kind of corrected it all.
Your blood pressure?
Yeah.
You think there's nothing that can? So that's your crypto. It can solve everything.
My crypto? No, my crypto's not solves everything.
That's what I'm saying. It's your new crypto is your fast.
No. I'm just saying it happened to do that. That was one of the effects. Is it pretty much normalized my blood pressure?
Okay, so higher sex drives you, more body hair. I don't know.
I'm not that hairy.
We're about the same.
I'd say the same. Yeah, you got more cheese up here.
I got a little more cheese than you.
Yeah,
Shocker up!
You got more.
I got a little cheese on top.
Coming up the top.
Cheese. I used to shave it more, but as you get older, the cheese suits you way more.
Yeah, for sure.
When you're younger, the little lettuce coming out the top.
Little chest lettuce.
Little chest lettuce doesn't suit. The older you get, the more the chest lettuce suits you.
For sure. Remember like the kid, have you seen that kid?
And then eventually you get a gold chain.
Do you ever have the kid in like high school, obviously who like went through puberty so early?
Of course.
And then they're like,
he looks like he's 100 now.
Did you see the kid? He's been in the last few days on Bleacher Report. He's
12-year-old?
The 12-year-old.
It seems like fake.
It's not. He looks like
he has a tattoo though. What's that about?
No, he doesn't have a tattoo. Did he?
Didn't a photo I saw. That was the part that threw me off. Unless it was fake tattoo, but it was on his arm.
Oh, maybe. Anyways, they were like, they're saying this kid's 12. He looks like Pusha T.
It just seems like insane. 50. Yeah.
They look
I will say black guys at my school seem to grow quicker than white guys.
Yeah. I had this one kid in my class, Jamie, who was like literally full, like the same chest hair you have when he was 13.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it was nuts.
Did the girls like her? Was he like a fan?
Yeah.
Or did he have to bang the teachers?
He had to bang.
That's George Costanza, you know. Jason Alexander said when he was 13 or something like that, he banged one of his teachers.
Really?
Said that on Stern once. Yeah.
Dirty dog.
I know, but he was like that. Like he probably grew real. That's those guys that grow really early. Like it's the same guys that go bald, right? That's the whole thing, right? Like baldness is a high T move.
Yeah, I wonder if
having your hair fall out is like very high T.
I know that's high T. Yeah. I know the bald thing is a high T.
Yeah, you know that you're.
That's why the supervillains and things are always bald.
Really?
Because all that T's making them be villains.
Yeah. High T move to lose your hair though.
Yeah.
Sex drive. I don't know who's more. Increased erectile function. Insomnia.
I don't have that at all.
Oh, I cannot sleep, buddy.
I sleep like a fucking baby.
I was the other day. I was even not sleeping. I was having the most insane dreams of all time. Too.
Really?
I've had a lot of dreams of people gaslighting me. That's a big one. I told you my BlackBerry thing, right?
No.
I ever told you this dream?
You have a recurring BlackBerry dream?
No, but I've having dreams like this, but this one went on for like a whole night of sleeping. It wasn't even like a quickie.
Okay.
So what happened was, I thought I told you, but basically what happened was I had a dream that I was walking around and I looked in my pocket to get my phone and I was a BlackBerry 7900.
Woo! That was a fucking fire, bro.
It wasn't. That was the crappy one.
Which one was that?
That was the one that looks like the calculator.
Not the touchscreen one?
No. Oh, God, the touch screen.
Remember that one touchscreen that was like the whole thing pushed down? That was
yeah,
the worst piece of shit.
No, so I had this BlackBerry, and then I was like, what the hell? Where'd my phone go? And everyone's like, you've always had a BlackBerry. And I was like, yeah, I think I know that I've had an iPhone. And everyone's like, no, Ryan, you've always been the BlackBerry guy. And then everyone was there saying this to me, like all my friends. And then I was like, okay, like even people like you. I was like, Danny, tell them that I fucking have an iPhone. And you were like, what do you mean? You have a BlackBerry?
Yeah.
And like everyone was gaslighting me into telling me that I had a BlackBerry. And then...
But you had a BlackBerry.
In my pocket, but someone planted the BlackBerry on me and stole my iPhone, and everyone was like in on it. They were I was being like gaslit.
I don't think that's gaslighting. I think you're not believing the world.
Well, so then this goes on and on. And they're like, look at the BlackBerry. It has your contacts. I was like, okay, I don't know who took my BlackBerry. So someone took my iPhone, transferred the contacts from my iPhone into my BlackBerry, I guess manually, and then put it back in my pocket and then stole my iPhone. Okay,
did you know the code to get into your BlackBerry?
I don't think there was a code. I actually don't remember that part of it.
Because if you know the code...
But I was trying to prove everything. I was like, whoa, look, I have like a Mac that would have been synced to my iCloud from my thing. And I was trying to convince everyone.
And then you had a BlackBerry computer. And you go, this isn't even a product.
It went on for the entire night.
That sucks.
So it's just like...
That sounds like a fever dream, actually.
Really?
Whenever I'm really sick... I have like to a T. I don't know if this is a normal thing.
To a low T.
To a low T. But whenever I'm really sick and I'm fighting off some sort of illness, like flu or whatever, I have these dreams and they're the most pointless dreams. Like nothing happens and I'm always stuck in a loop where I'm like in this loop of trying to do something and then it's just like right before you're about to accomplish it, it resets back into the loop, so it's like you never get out of the loop, and it's my whole life. It's always been like that. Whenever
that's
I'm
what
sick.
Life's gonna be like in 10 fucking years, and when we're all in the Matrix.
When we're all in the Matrix. Is that a segue?
No,
the story. Oh.
Reduce sperm count, prostate enlargement. Here's a couple.
What's your prostate
infertility?
situation?
Prostates. Well, it said larger swelling of balls. So
that's it. I'm out.
It said large balls, so know.
I'm out.
My man, it is over.
I don't have
till
swelling.
It's over.
I don't have swelling in the feet or legs.
Shrinking testicles is a low T move. That is funny though. That if you're.
But I thought if you start shooting yourself
with.
I thought if you shoot yourself with testosterone, your balls will also shrink.
I think that a lot of them seem like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you have high T or low T, they shrink. It seems like obesity is also a sign. So they said overeating is high T, but obesity is low T.
That doesn't make sense.
So I don't know. A lot of these ones that you were getting points for also seem to be low T. Erectile dysfunction. Loss of armpit and pubic hair. Losing your pubes is pretty funny.
That would be such a hard one to explain.
That's so crazy.
You just have just male pattern baldness in the pubes.
Right?
I've never heard of that.
No, that's
I thought that was like your pubes are just like the last thing to go.
No, I think they go, yeah.
Unless you have alopecia, like you got.
Well, old men do have a little bit less hair than they used to when they're younger.
Yeah, your hair thins for sure, but that's normal to just have thinning hair. But
I'm gonna take another quick break here to tell you about Fume. Now, if you're not familiar with Fume, the wooden inhalers, Canadian company, be smart, don't start, kick the habit. These are all phrases we've heard 100 times, yet we still continue to have bad habits. Now, everyone's tried to quit something and had a hard time. Maybe that's that ex-girlfriend that you're trying to quit. Maybe that's, for you, the extra gravy down the hatch.
A little extra gravy.
Quitting can be hard, but our sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from bad habits to consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural, diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. Fume's not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. So I always use the Fume when I'm editing because it's this wooden inhaler and they've got these cool cores So it's fun to do. Instead of pods that are filled with potential harmful chemicals like a vape, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious natural flavors. Fume's new Model 2 version is snappy and tassile with an adjustable airflow, dial, and magnetic end cap. Your fingers will always allow you to have something to do. They look cool. They are fun to play with. The taste is great on the cores. I'm a big fan. A lot of the New York guys are bopping around with the Fumes.
Yeah, I like them.
We like them. We suggest them. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. It's Fume's goal to make switching easy and enjoyable. They have thousands of 5-star reviews with people just like you who've successfully switched when other solutions didn't work. Head to tryfume.com and use the code BOYSCAST to save 10% when you get the Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kickstart your positive habits. tryfum.com and use the code BOYSCAST to save an additional 10% on your order today. tryfum.com. And then also Viagra apparently lowers the risk of Alzheimer's by about 70%, which is huge. They keep finding new uses for this stuff, man.
It's like a real miracle drug.
It's a miracle drug because they started out for blood thinning. Then they find out it fucking helps the rod. Then they find out it helps everything else. And you know I've been a proponent forever, right?
Yeah. Hey, you put them in your shakes every morning.
I was been talking
Mix
about
them
this
into
on
the.
stage,
You sprinkle them into your beans. The pinch. That's like cooking with Ryan.
Beans and
a
Viagra.
pinch of Viagra into the beans.
Beans and Viagra. I was saying the idea that the worst job for your girlfriend to have would be like a dick doctor. I'll be like, well, you better be doing trans people because, you know, your girl comes home like, she's like, oh, great day at work today. Great, was it? Like, why? The basketball team came in. Okay, this isn't, you know.
Yeah.
Loving that. That's the worst job.
Dick doc.
Yeah, the dick doctor.
Dick doc on TikTok.
But apparently they go that the study's findings are promising, and they also said coffee apparently is good. So all these things that people, you know, probably, I've had lots of people to me and my friends when we were taking the Vigras every now and then, people being like, yo, you're going to get addicted. And it's like, you don't. And now I find
addicted. That's a
well, I think you can
dependent.
You can get mentally addicted. You can't get physically addicted.
Yeah, you're not getting physically. That would be the worst. Like you're like crushing up fucking Viagras and doing lines in them. You go
well, apparently
under a bridge, just freebasing Viagra.
Doesn't this sort of show once and for all what part of your body the brain is? Where they go, well, they go. Listen,
we all know who's doing.
If you keep your dick getting hard, your Alzheimer's won't happen, right?
Yeah.
So it honestly does say that everything's tied together, because this isn't what they're saying, this is what I'm saying, but it does seem like where you go, yeah, but when you get older, you'll start to lose everything. It was like, yeah, because as soon as your dick stops working good, you're just like, yeah, whatever. You're like, remember all that information that you have? You're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Your brain's like, think about this. You have all this like stuff that impresses people. And then as soon as your dick stops working, you're like, we can just let all that go.
Yeah, you go. Remember all those magic tricks that you used to know? I go, I don't.
Yeah, no, I actually don't. Care. Remember that time you had the threesome with those girls? Like, what use is that memory to me? I can't get it out.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. That was cool. Is there anything sadder? Being like, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, God.
I guess that was sweet. So Viagra is a human right is going to be what's happening soon. Okay, so I want to ask your opinion on something. There's this big story that I've been sort of arguing with people a little bit on.
Okay.
And this is from Crime Report. But there was a principal, so I'll read the headline. The principal investigated a sexting incident, so the police charged him with possessing child porn. Did you read it?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
So basically what happened...
This is a weird...
This guy's facing 12 years in prison, despite the fact he was doing his job at a school administrator. And essentially what happened was... There was this, all the parents kind of came up to him and they were like, we think our kids are sexting or whatever. And it's like, 14-year-olds and stuff like that. And the teacher went on Snapchat and then saw that the guy was sexting, took a picture of it with the teacher's phone to like prove it. And then he uploaded it onto the school servers and then also had it on his phone. And then they go, he failed to delete the files from his work cell phone. And now, for his attempts to investigate the situation. He's been levied with child porn charges and accused of obstructing a police investigation. And the take that people were sort of saying was, even the parents were like, no, we asked him to go do this. Like, he was investigating something.
Yeah.
We asked him. He's the administrator. Like, he was trying to help us. We didn't want our kids doing all this at school. But to me, I was like, I kind of don't buy it.
There's something really, there's something kind of fishy in the whole thing going on, because the article, it says he took a tip from an anonymous app that underage students were sexting explicit images to each other on Snapchat in April during the last school year. And they said to collect evidence, he took screenshots of the images.
Yes.
So I don't understand. How did he get into these kids' Snapchat?
He had them there.
So he's like, some kids are sexting, and then
he's like, busted.
He goes, busted, and they're like, shh. That makes no sense. Like, because like Snapchat's like, they disappear like the moment.
Well, I didn't necessarily think there was anything weird about like the story that happened, because that's the official story from the police too,
Okay.
right? But to me, it was like, okay, this is what I was arguing. If someone said to you, right, like you work at somewhere, right, and they're like, hey, these kids, I think these like 13-year-olds are sending each other nudes.
I'll be like, that's none of my goddamn business.
Yeah, that's to me. I'd be like, are you out of your fucking mind?
I'd be like, honestly, if you parents want to deal with this and be parents, go for it. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't know why my job as a fucking like gym teacher, I have to now bust these sexting rings.
That's what, to me, I would be like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah. The fact that this guy even just put himself in this position,
And then
this is not your.
So the whole selling point.
That's chick stuff at minimum. You go like, get a female teacher on this.
1,000%. So the idea that this guy, like, maybe I guess they're selling like he's just so dumb that like at no point when you go in this, especially now, you're like, I would be like, if I worked at a school and it was like, a teacher so much as like a girl like that was 13 like touched me, you'd be like, whoa. You keep your like, you know what I mean? I'd be so worried about that.
This is one.
It's like if you're hitting on your boss, right? Like you might do it, but you'd be very like, I know this is like potentially going to go really bad.
Yeah.
Like at no point where you like, yo, this is going to fucking ruin my life. You have photos of your students on your phone and no
Nude
like
photos, and you're just like,
none of your
yeah.
like bells went off of like, I'm going to be fucking in trouble here.
Yeah, like I should have probably.
And then he forgot to delete them.
Yeah, not looking good. Not looking good for this guy.
I'd be like, nice
But
try,
also,
pal.
I don't just that the whole thing doesn't really make sense to me.
But it seems like the narrative from the
Like
school,
who's
from the parents and
who's
everyone.
snitching? Because they have this thing called the Safe to Tell Tip app. So it's like there's an app. So who's like, some kid is like, hey, my students, my friends are all sexting each other. Just so teacher, just so you know, the students are sexting. You're like, okay.
That is strange.
Like you got a tip about sexting? And
I know.
I'd be like, I don't know, fucking not my business.
You go, that's something I'm staying. I'm not touching that with a 12.
That's like straight up. You go like, okay, send that to the police and let them investigate. I always thought that must be like maybe
creepy job,
one of the worst jobs is the dude
or the best, depending on who you are.
Well,
right?
but the guy at the police department who's like has to look at the hard drives when they arrest people for to confirm, and you're like,
I love that that is the most suspect job of all time.
but that's somebody's job.
I know, but like, I feel like that's one of those jobs that you have to be real careful about. But it's like the same with like, Boy Scout leaders or whatever, where there's such a high prevalence of, because if you are a creep, that's what job you want. So you got to vet them like crazy.
Well,
right?
they are, you're vetted if you become a police officer, but like, I can't imagine.
I know, but
it's
like
one of those things where like, do you think they draw straws? Like, all right, everybody, who's got to check these hard drives?
I'll tell you what, if you're like, hey, who wants to do this job? And one guy's like, me, you're like, not you. Like, you can't give it to the guy. Yeah, you can't give it to the guy who wants it.
No.
You have to
But then the guy who really wants it knows that. So then he's probably like, not me. I'd hate to do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And you go, well, that's suspicious too. But it's just crazy that
that's someone's
the wide
job.
variety of jobs that people have in the world is one guy's job is to just basically watch child pornography.
Just to make sure
it's legit.
Make sure it's the real deal.
The real deal, so that he can put people in prison, which is a good thing. But like that step, Like, I guess maybe,
I guess the judge has to see it too.
I guess, yeah.
Maybe they blur it out, but then someone has to be the blurrer. So then
Exactly,
another guy watching it.
Yeah, it's fuckk up.
It's such a bad job.
Worst
that guy,
job.
You just see that guy pouring his coffee, like going in
Yeah,
there.
he's just like, just do it for the kids.
They go,
What do you mean you do it for the kids? He goes, no, like I do it for the kids.
Yeah. I'm doing it to stop this from
For
happening
them.
again.
For kids.
Oh boy, we got another truckload of hard drives. We're gonna need you to work overtime today. That job would mess you up a little bit too.
For sure. I mean, there's
Unless you like
I guess
it.
there's a million jobs like that. Like we have a friend of ours who's like a firefighter, and I remember asking him, like, he's like, yeah, half my job is just literally just cleaning up bodies off of the fucking highway.
I got a fucking news for you, pal. Your firefighter friend's lying to you. 99% of his job is watching TV and working
No,
out.
I know that. But I'm
Once
saying,
a year.
No, because they're first responders. They're
How
that's
many
the thing.
bodies are they cleaning? One a year?
Are you kidding?
How many bodies are there?
There's car accidents every day.
That people die?
Fuck yeah, man. It's like the most common cause of death. It's like car accidents.
Okay, so how many firefighters are? I'd say your buddy, how many bodies did he clean personally in his life?
I don't. I'm sure a lot, dude. They're the first responders. They get there before the ambulances do because there's more.
right.
There's more fire stations than medics or whatever.
I'll tell you what.
Because of the fire risk?
If I was talking to a firefighter and they were like, just every day, I'm just cleaning up dead bodies, I'd be like,
Not
how many
every
this
day.
year?
Not
I'd be like,
every
okay,
day.
one this year.
Not every day, but I'm like, you probably no. It's way more than one. You're seeing dead bodies way more than once a year.
Really?
Fuck yeah, man. Every car accident is like every fatal car accident, which are probably happening. Like, I mean, think about it in Toronto.
Yeah, you think I'm
every
wrong about
day?
this?
Every day, there's a fatal car accident in Toronto. Every single day.
Because I know some firefighters.
Yeah.
And I feel like.
I guess if you're a small town firefighter, no. But if you're in Toronto, yeah, like
I mean, there's
daily,
more firefighters than people that die every year.
probably.
Okay, so that's
Well, but a bunch
at
of them
the
show
most,
up.
At most, one a person.
But I'm saying a bunch of them show up.
Well,
to the scene.
yeah.
The whole car shows up.
Yeah, okay, fine.
I don't know. I'm not saying it's every day, but it's not once a year.
Sure.
But I'm saying the stuff that they have to see, like grab it.
You become a little desensitized to that.
You have
I don't know how you become desensitized to just child porn, where it's just like another day, another dollar.
That's dark. That's
And
dark.
it's almost weirder if they spread it around, like where they go, everyone has to do a shift on this. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's probably better that they're like one guy has to do this, so as opposed to us all having to go watch a little.
And
bit.
it's like, is it like
you have to do a shift? Hey,
like,
you mind covering my 6
Is it like
o'clock?
a punishment? Like remember, like on the show The Shield, where like he gets like
You're on desk duty.
Desk duty. You're like on fucking CP duty. You're like,
It's so messed up.
I know.
Do you think do they give it to girls mostly? Do you think?
I don't know. Does that make it better?
There should have to be like a eunuch. There, like there's a
A eunuch.
there's like a
Like they chemically castrate you before that job. You go, just so you know, if you want to do this, we got to chemically castrate you.
like there's a couple eunuchs at every police force. Their whole thing is they're on like the CP duty. Or maybe they have like a kid that works at the police station.
That would be the ideal scenario. Is a kid's doing it.
Yeah, you have a kid that works at the police station that does it.
Like take your kid to work day every day.
Well, that would be a weird thing because also
Like a Doogie Howser scenario.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, where it's like this kid's the best, and he's luckily a kid.
But then he starts getting old and starts getting a little creepy.
Well, once he turns 18, then you're like, okay, no more of that.
But also, it's one of those things where with the CP stuff, because those guys use their testimonies, then go to court or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it is kind of funny to think that like that guy could just be lying. Like he watched it and it was just nothing on there, and he was like, "Yeah, it was CP," and you just have to take his word for it because no one else watches it. Or maybe they have two people that have to watch
They
it.
probably show it in court and stuff.
You know
To
what?
kinda put you
That
away.
is better if you, but also weird to just sit there with someone and watch it. I think I'd rather watch
do you
it
get
without
like
someone.
like what's like? Could you grab like a? Is it weird if you're like, hey, I'm just gonna go grab something to eat and I'll be back, and like you bring food back and you're like eating like,
Where you can't be eating
you know what I
in
mean?
there,
Like can
yeah.
you eat?
Yeah, but the etiquette's weird. Do you have to just like, are you trying to like be performative like the whole time you're sitting there with the person? You have to be like,
Probably. I mean,
like, and one guy's pouring it on a little too thick, like, ew.
Yeah.
Like if I was sitting there with you and we're watching it, I would be like, gross. And if you didn't say anything, I'd be like, don't you think it's gross?
Yeah, what, you don't think it's gross? And I'm like, no,
I
do.
You have to be like pretending to puke the whole time.
Yeah, you're like watching the other guy, like just trying to outdo them.
You're both being.
And you know you're getting watched by someone on a fucking closed circuit.
You're
cam.
looking at the camera like, you're just doing that for like 4 hours
What a
straight.
fucking horrible job.
Because you definitely wouldn't want to just sit there.
Where
like,
was that episode of Dirty Jobs?
How did that not be a Dirty Jobs episode?
The cops who have to watch child pornography.
So, anyways, this guy's basically taking on that job, you know.
Yeah, this guy's, well, he's a little bit of a keener. This is the problem.
Exactly. Either he's like the biggest keener in the history of keener. He's either the biggest keener in the history of the world or a creep.
Yeah. I mean, again,
They're
I'm not
selling
buying
that he's a keener.
I'm not buying that you. Oh, whoops! I forgot to delete those from my phone.
Forgetting to delete it, I didn't believe that much either.
And how dumb are you to get caught at that point? I don't know. There's just. Do you see the? Yeah, there's just. People are so stupid.
So the real common sentiment seems to be on this guy's side that he's just dumb, which I guess is possible. But like, yeah, just.
But also, like, how many
Ned Flanders type, where it was like, you know, like that's who they're painting him as, like Ned Flanders.
You know what the problem with these laws is that they don't really like allow for leeway because they just don't want to start getting into gray area stuff. Like, you know, there's no shortage of stories where there's like a 20-year-old who has like photos of his phone from when he was 17, but then he didn't delete them, and then now you're just like, yeah, well, now you're
those
20.
guys never usually get in that much trouble.
No, but I've seen stories of like people who actually went to prison and shit for
No,
that
but the prison usually comes like, I'm sure there's a million people that are like young people sending each other nudes or whatever.
There was like some football player I remember in Florida.
I'm not saying it never happens, but when you like generally anything like that, I'm sure 90% of the time they hear about it and they go, they just what gets them into trouble is if they send it to someone else. Right. Now you're distributing.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How'd this guy get busted? He wasn't sending it around.
Well, he's out there at the police station trying to make the bust, and he's like, guys, he
goes, guys, look, I got this. You go, yo, what are you doing, man?
That's what happened. By the way,
he puts his phone out, goes, look, and just go click. He goes, what? Yeah. Dude, you're showing us child porn.
He shows up to the thing and he was like, look at all these child porn these guys have. I've been fucking collecting it. And they go, okay, well, now you're going to jail. Yeah. That's kind of what happened.
You're a teacher. You're not
he
cop.
literally brought the cops to his house and he's got the yarn and everything on the wall with all the child porn printed out on his wall. So that's kind of what happened to this guy.
Fucked up.
You're an idiot. At the very least, it's one of those things where you go, it's like possession is the 9/10 of the law or whatever. And you're just like, well, I just found all this stuff. And you're like, it almost doesn't matter how dumb you are. That's the law.
Yeah. Of course.
It was like, yeah, pal. But I'm on the side of, I have a hard time believing anyone I know would be stupid enough to ever like try to get a 14-year-old girl's nude on your phone to bust them.
Yeah, that's insane.
Not
like, who do you bust them to? Their parents? You go, hey, just so you know.
Here, look.
Yeah, hey, look, I have nudes of your daughter. She's been sending them to her other classmates. And you're like, why do you have
No, the parents apparently tasked him with this.
Oh, well, that's even worse. The guy's
apparently
like,
the parents set him up.
This guy's just fucking
crazy.
Cursed, man.
Okay, so one thing that I was been right about. So whenever we were talking about the abortion stuff,
yeah,
one of the things that I said, and honestly, I think it's like my tech mindset.
Yeah.
Guys like me, Elon, just problem solvers.
Yeah.
Right? But I've been saying that I bet you, I don't think it's going to be that long from now till people don't actually do the babies themselves.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like the friend do it, but so they
like the womb, digital, like not a digital womb, but
they
wombs.
started. So I predicted this. Like I basically said, I picture in 10 years this whole thing's changed.
Yeah.
I don't know, not everywhere, but like right now, what I said, and I'm not even saying good or bad. It's the same thing as like Neuralink or whatever. It's like you can be like, I'm against it. I could be not against it, but I'm just predicting it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, they have the world's first artificial womb facility. And obviously, people think it's creepy, but it's a glimpse into pregnancy in the future.
I mean, if you think that's an impressive prediction, this was in a book 90 years ago.
I guess so. But I've been just saying, like,
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's the logical kind of.
Also, think about so obviously, you know, a lot of people are going to have a problem with this, and one of the big things they're going to be like, they're going to regulate.
Who is going to want to be the first person? Who's going to want to be the first?
They're doing it.
They're actually doing this?
Yes.
I read this as like they're kind of putting the stuff together, but I don't think they've actually been.
Well, they have some regulations that they need to.
Yeah. But I'm saying, is that like,
dude, there's some creepy ass shit. They have all these
some fucking sperm for that?
No, they basically what they do. A big thing of what they do is they get like embryos. Like they basically what Alex Jones was like talking about.
Yeah.
And they have all these regulations. Like they're only allowed to like operate on the fetuses till like day 7 or whatever. Then they have to throw them out.
Yeah.
It's like fucking. It's dystopian the way they got going on over these facilities.
Brave New World,
dude. What? Well, it's also the kind of the opposite because. The Brave New World was like, oh, women are just like tied down and forced to have babies, but the opposite.
No, Brave New World is like they make them in a factory.
Oh, never mind.
It was
I was thinking of the one that
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
No, Brave New World is legitimately Aldous Huxley from 1930 something, and it's like a Ford.
Okay, so it turns out
it's
my
babies
prediction
made
was
in a
just
Ford
Brave New
factory. It's like
World.
babies made in a Ford factory.
Oh, well then that's what I think's gonna happen. But
it's like Model T's coming off the line. They're just babies coming off the line.
Yeah, in your case, low T is coming off the line.
Low
Father
T's.
like
model low T's.
Not a model low T. Do you have we have Model T's, or for Danny, we have definitely not going to be a model and low T.
So fucked though. The elite package, how they have that.
Okay, so we'll go through the thing. Yeah. So, well, first of all, you for or against?
I mean, on paper, it seems cool. I guess if you're like. You can reduce women dying in childbirth,
and then you and your chick are like, "Hey, we're gonna have a kid," and you go, It's like one of the things that I was thinking was one of the biggest things that women have over men is they go, "We give birth," you know.
Yeah.
Imagine they take that away.
But also, I think that is probably like a necessary thing for the child to like be in the womb of the mother.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, they already do it where they, rich people already get other people to
but they're
carry
still in the womb of like a human. I don't know. Maybe they can.
What do you think it would change?
I mean, I'll say I'm pro if I can be, if I can test out the old fucking milking machine when they need it. There you go. You need some sperms?
Yeah. So
I'll give the milking machine a spin.
It is like. This is my prediction. It's not going to be that long till it happens, and the only reason it won't happen will be a matter of like regulation.
Yeah.
So it'll be ready. If it's not ready like soon, it's ready to go.
This will get fought tooth and nail.
All it takes is somewhere weird to do it, like fucking Sweden, you know?
Yeah, it'll be.
It's gonna be one of those countries that are gonna do it first. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, this is what they start with. They go, it's what you said. They go, it'll stop moms from dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, it'll prevent like bad things happening to the mothers and things like that. And then that's how they. The
problem is women are gonna be doing this because they go, I just don't want to wreck my body.
But like,
and then guys are like, yeah, I don't want you to wreck your body either.
Okay, but like, give me a. Okay, let me play devil's advocate for you because I know you're a Christian man. Give me one reason why it's bad, like why you wouldn't think it's good.
Why I wouldn't think it's
because you said,
good.
The baby should be inside the mom. Based on what?
I think there's just, based on if you talk to mothers, there's some sort of bonding that goes on with.
Is there though? Is that true?
I think so. Your person's living inside of you.
Yeah, but the baby doesn't. I guess that. That's either true or it isn't.
But again, whatever. If we can say like you could just make that a choice, and you go like whatever. People make all sorts of choices with their kids that fuck them up. Like I don't know if this is the end all be all.
Oh, you think? You think that potentially?
I don't think that should be the only reason why you should not. I mean, this is very borderline eugenics.
From a science perspective, you go. It is also possible that when people say I'm bonding with my kid within the womb, that they're not, and that was just like all made up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's completely imaginary.
And, I guess it's borderline eugenics. I don't know. Maybe we're going to change our tone on if that's a good or a bad thing. But
that's a huge part. Yeah. So
this whole elite package,
dude, it is wild. They have something called the elite.
Dude, that's like right out of Brave New World. Like the wording of this stuff is like, what the fuck?
They're not doing it. If they're trying to get this like passed, they're not doing a good job, right?
No.
The elite package would allow you to genetically engineer the embryo before implanting it into the artificial womb, which is that part is getting nuts. I get one part where you're like, hey, we're going to have you and your wife come in, your sperm, your egg. We put two together, whatever we get. Now they're talking about we're choosing the color of the baby.
Yeah.
They go, if you want your baby to stand out and have a brighter, they're already advertising, dude.
Yeah.
If you want your baby to stand out and have a brighter future, the elite package offers you the opportunity to genetically engineer the embryo before implanting it. So that's crazy.
So, the elite package allows you to customize your baby's eye color.
You shouldn't be
hair
allowed to
color,
do that part of it.
Skin tone, physical strength, height, and level of intelligence.
That's getting fucking
That's
nuts,
kind
dude.
of getting...
I think you should just be able to get what you get. They should have to keep it like that.
Well,
you know you do.
That
dude.
is what it is.
This should be the regulations. It's like, okay, they'll let you to do your baby in the womb, but you get what you get. But if it's gonna have like a big defect, then we let you start again.
I mean, literally now you can do that. Like you can people
I know.
abort for defect.
But we're not gonna let the doctors go in and start playing around with the code and make them,
I mean, I guess it's slippery slope thing where you say, okay,
Of course it is,
well,
yeah,
we go,
of
hey,
course.
how about we're willing to do this, and you go, well, if you're willing to do this, can we go one step? Can we just? How about if I want a kid who's 6'6"?
But that you're saying it's a slippery slope, but I'm saying it's a binary. I was saying like there is no positive modifications. Does that make sense?
Only removing.
So I don't see that as a slippery. I don't see that as like a spectrum. I see that as a binary.
What if it's you say, hey, the baby that we have in the pod right now is a male. He's gonna grow to a maximum of 4'5".
Is that a defect? Or you're
well,
saying,
that's right. And you go like, well, you don't kill somebody for that. You don't abort someone who's going to be short.
No, you can't abort. But then I guess what you're saying is too. You go, he's going to only.
But they're also like, if you
so
want.
I don't think you got. I think that's what
if you want to upgrade to the elite package. We could get that kid up to probably 6'2".
No, so I think maybe those you can't. You can't. Yeah.
I mean, medical ethics wise, this is like a absolutely bee's nest.
If you think people were arguing about abortion now, can you imagine like if a guy's walking around like some like little George Costanza looking guy with his like 8 foot tall black son?
Of course, and also it's like only available to
the
rich
NBA's
people.
The NBA's all just Jewish guys, black sons.
Or they're not. Why do they need to be like? They would just be like Jewish modified, and they look like me, but just souped up.
I think something about being black helps you at basketball.
Well, currently it does. Not in this scenario.
Okay.
Like it won't. They'll just soup you up. They'll give you all those fast twitch muscles and
just a huge guy, big fat, 6 foot, small hammer, low T,
low T, but just like 50-inch vertical, crazy fast twitch muscles.
The elite package. So this is happening.
Nobody was like, can we get a better name than the elite?
Dude, this is going to be
like the World Economic Forum.
This is going to be the split of society, though, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you this.
Who do you think does it first, like country-wise? Somewhere weird. Switzerland.
Singapore or something weird.
Oh, somewhere like that.
But it's like, this is going to be the richest people could afford this. This is not going to be available. I mean, in America, it costs just to give birth the old-fashioned way, like 10 or 20
How
grand.
much do you think the elite package is going to cost?
Is $1
50
million
grand?
bucks.
$1 million?
It costs right now to give birth in America like 10 or 20 grand.
Okay.
Just to give birth the old-fashioned way. You go to a hospital, they fucking pull that baby out of you. That's like 10 or 20 grand.
Oh.
That's just what it costs in America for the hospital, all that shit. So it's like, this is going to be $1 million.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
So the elite package is very elite.
Yeah.
But if you're Elon Musk, you could be like, hey, I'm just going to make 6 more like perfect brains.
I think Elon Musk would be super against this, if I would guess.
Why?
I don't know. I think this is just like there has to be a line somewhere with this stuff.
We're talking about two things at once because I think I am against the like genetically modifying the babies.
We're literally talking about making babies in a factory.
Right. So I'm against that, but I'm not against the fake wombs because people already sometimes have to go to the.
Yeah, they have a surrogate.
Yeah. So I if they can figure that out, I don't think that's that
like
great.
they do have a surrogate. So I guess you're just like.
To me, I'm like, if I was
taking the surrogate one step
how many,
further.
like, even if they can make it accessible, like, it literally, how many people it's like, oh, the mom has to go on maternity leave for 2 years and it, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all sort of done,
Yeah. I mean, just even the way they say this, they go, after discharging the amniotic fluid from the artificial womb, you will be able to easily remove your baby from the growth pod.
Yeah.
Everything is perfectly designed so you and your partner can enjoy the delivery process.
Dads are just going to bring it coming in. Dad and the mom, they'll be like, listen, we don't care what it costs. And they show them a picture of you. And you go, you want that? They go, opposite of this.
Whatever this is. If I get one of these, I'm going to be super pissed.
Can you take out all the stuff that makes this? What ingredients make this?
I mean, the crazy thing is,
Can you remove
they
those?
will be able to probably say like, oh, you know, it's like a splash of these and all the CRISPR stuff. And
But that's the thing. You might try to put splash of things in that don't work together. You know what I mean? You're
And
like,
is there a return policy? Or
I
like,
think.
you know, you go like, sorry, we fucked up. Like, what happens when you fuck up? You go, whoops. We left this one in for a few minutes too long.
Yeah.
Well, just give us 9 months. We'll have
The kid comes out with gray hair and shit.
I mean, it's like, yeah, and there are gonna be recalls and stuff.
Oh my God.
Like,
Yo, imagine
every kid born between like, you know, January like 2084 and like
Fuck.
2085 is like getting recalled for fucking defective.
Yo, can you imagine being like a kid that your parents got a refund on?
I think
You're
you
like-
look in the mirror, you'll know that you are that.
You're like, this guy's, you're so fucking ugly. Your parents got a refund at the genetic womb factory.
yeah. The problem too is there's no room for error on this stuff. Like, they can't have any fuck ups. These are people.
I don't like this.
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm off it now. I'm
Like
I'm not
any
consoled.
fuck up, and you're like, yeah, this is a person that you bought.
No, they should. I think there's utility in finding out the womb stuff, but the idea of like, you know, first of all, every kid's gonna have a 12-incher.
Yeah. And then that's such a weird talk too, because it's like the dad's like, I just want to make sure he's got a nice fucking hog on him, and the mom's like, is that important? Like,
Shut the fuck up.
And it's like probably so much extra money because they know that's
How
they'll
much
get
you
it
think
out
the
of it.
hog would be extra?
Oh,
Like,
it's per inch.
they know that they know they can upcharge that. You know what I mean?
course.
Also, if your dad doesn't spring for the extra hair, but he springs for like something crappy that you didn't even want, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then also, like, how
Fuck
do you,
you,
how do you
Dad.
ensure that there's
Your
like
da- if you got a small hog, you just hate your parents.
and that's another thing too, is nature has like a pretty interesting way of being able to, for the most part, like, you know, it's 50-50 men and women. How do you ensure that that's here? What if everybody just their bias is towards they keep wanting
That's
like,
no good
guys
either.
out?
Yeah, that's
I saw
bad
some, I
news,
was listening
yeah.
to, I can't remember where I heard this, but they were saying because of China's one child policy and all that stuff that they're actually population is going to shrink.
yeah.
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 I mean, I guess that makes sense logically,
Obviously.
but you're like, but pretty drastically, like in the next
No, it's a
100
big
years.
problem for them.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, again, how do you ensure that?
I think you crank out lab babies.
Well, I guess China, I can see. I mean,
I can
that
definitely see them getting into this game.
Yeah.
Just Chinese guys with just like massive dongs. Also, what was making me laugh was the idea of saying that whenever you take Viagra and then telling your chick that fucking you're natural, I'm like the liver king of Viagra. I'm natty.
all natty.
So yeah, they.
Yeah, it says according to the World Health Organization, 300,000 women die from pregnancy complications.
So it's saving a lot of lives.
I don't know if that's a
potentially.
year though. That seems a lot, but
Oh,
yeah.
it's like your friend with the firefighters. Yeah, they're pushing
Yeah.
the stats a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
The other problem is too we're forgetting about is as soon as this is like, yeah, you're right. You can't trust these people, and as soon as this happened, the government's going to be getting involved. And it's like literally how every movie starts that has a bad guy. That the government went into these labs and then just genetically modifies their army.
I mean, do you know how crazy? Yeah,
because we're thinking about like, oh, some dad's going to make his kid have a big dick. It was like, yeah, the army's going to try to make killing machines.
Of course. I mean, do you know that in China, like their whole thing that like that watches everybody is called Skynet? Like they
Yeah, I think
literally,
I did know
they
that.
literally called it after the thing in Terminator that was supposed to be this hypothetical thing.
Wait, they made
in
it-
the future.
That is kind of. I did know
and it's called
that, but
Skynet
yeah,
in
you're
Terminator,
right.
and then in China it's called Skynet.
That is
Like they're not
crazy.
even trying.
Well, they see Terminator as like that was the good guy.
Yeah, they go. That was like a instruction manual.
They see Terminator as like the bad guy in that
They straight
scenario.
up took 1984 Terminator. They go like instruction manuals, and they go, "Here we go."
They thought it was like they thought they were.
This is like probably the
instruction
next piece of it.
Also, they said every growth pod. Calling them pods isn't helping. You're right. This is the Chinese. They're rubbing in your faces. They're calling them pods. But also, there is just something about I'll just say there's something that I was liking about the idea of taking away the one thing that girls have over you. It's like, imagine now they go, abortion's a woman's right. It's like, how so? It's in the pod. How is that more your right than mine?
Yeah, then they'll be real clingy to their eggs, though. They'll be like...
But think about that. It takes away all of the like girl arguments where they go, it's a woman's right. It's once it's in the pod, it's like, how is that any more your thing than mine, you know?
That is a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
They'd have to get both signatures if they were trying to fucking do anything.
Yeah, and there'll be dudes breaking into the facility just to like fucking smash the thing.
No, but you would be able to do it if you want to. That was the thing.
Yeah.
It was like now you don't have the say. Now you would have the say.
Definitely the argument that human beings are precious from the Christian would be out the window. You go,
Once
precious,
they're
they're
pods.
like crank fucking Hyundai is making them right now. I don't know how precious they are. Yeah, they're like literally on a
There's a guy on the fucking
assembly line.
thing, like grabbing them by their like back fat.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
like a
Just picking
dog,
them by the
like
skin.
a puppy
Yeah.
or something. Or like just like a a chicken processing plant. There's like different bins they get thrown into as they come online. It goes like.
Yeah, crazy. How many people would be like, that's the funniest thing to be like, the progressive parents. They're like, hey, I want a boy that wants to be a girl.
Yeah, like somewhere around 12
yeah.
is when I'd like them to start questioning things and
You're just
wanting
like,
to come around.
yeah, why don't you just get a girl? No, you're missing what I'm saying. I don't want a girl. I want a boy that wants to be a girl.
Yeah, like I imagine, can they select for no trans? Is that just the end of trans?
Probably not.
Yeah, I wonder.
I think they would have people selecting.
I guess that's nature
They want someone
stuff.
to turn. Like, it's like, when you get like one of those
that's
dinosaur toys that you put in the thing and then it expands.
I
They
guess-
want it to expand, and around 7 you put some code in. Then around 7 it starts wearing clothing of the opposite gender.
Yeah, I guess that's a nature of a nurture discussion.
Well, okay. So my take is that probably the women's stuff will.
I'm gonna pass on this one.
Okay, fine. Well, BOYSCAST passes on this one.
Yeah,
We don't
it
like
seems
it.
like a World Economic Forum is behind this one. This is Klaus Schwab.
This feels a
invention.
little Klaus Schwab-y.
And we're gonna be eating bugs for a century before they.
That
fucking wheel
is
this
true,
thing
though.
out.
As soon as this stuff comes out, there's gonna be so many bugs in your mouth.
There's all bugs.
As soon as the babies, the babies are just getting fucking fed flies from the birth.
Yeah, I can't believe there is a company that is actually trying to do this.
Lord of the Flies a little too.
It's the whole thing.
Would you ever consider yourself gay Lord of the Flies?
Gay Lord of the Flies?
It's called
Like gay Lord of the Flies?
It's like a gay
or
guy that's
gay Lord
very
of
like
the Flies?
smelly, so there's like flies on him, and you call him gay Lord of the Flies.
But gay Lord is one word.
Gay Lord's one word.
Yes.
Gay Lord of the Flies.
Gay Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, gay Lord of the
like
Flies.
the baseball player.
Yeah, like gay Lord
Perry.
Perry. Yeah,
He just died, actually.
or gay Lord Fokker.
Gaylord Fokker. I forgot about Gaylord Fokker.
All right, come see us in Toronto. Oh yeah, that was what I was going to say.
Tonight.
It's tonight, but
And
tonight.
tomorrow.
Yeah. There's as of now, the shows are very close to sold out. So try to get those last few tickets of the one. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say was they've been trying to every place. We couldn't do the podcast live because they couldn't get the fucking ticket link up for 3 weeks. I swear to God, there is a epidemic of promoters that can't get a ticket link up.
It seems like it's the hardest thing in the world.
The amount of times, and I have to message everyone. I was like, how is this like? Of all the things that are happening, how is posting a ticket link taking place as a month and a half? I do not get it.
I don't know.
I think there might be one guy in the industry that's the only guy that knows how to post a link, and he's very busy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I agree. It's been
You book a show and then you're like messaging for a week and a half, be like, hey, where's the ticket link? And they're like, we're trying. We got the machine going.
So it's like the steam engine. It's like a belt just broke.
Yeah,
You know what it is? You ever see the fucking oil rigs, like those crazy rigs, and they're like spinning the things?
It's the Jordan Peterson when he's talking about the worst jobs that men have. It's the guy who gets the ticket links up.
That's the ticket link guy.
All right, patreon.com/theboyscast. Peace.
Peace.